Hey YouTube, this is EdMagician34, and I'm coming at you with a deck review of the new Duelist Toolbox deck. It wasn't necessarily as exciting, I think, for players who have been going a long time and have an extensive collection, but I will say it does do what it says it does on the box, actually. That it helps new players. If you are a new player coming into the game and don't have a lot of cards, if you're one of those people whose trade binder online has just maybe a handful of foils and all the rest is commons, you might want to consider investing. Because this deck actually has a lot of really good staple commons. If you don't have them, you might want to consider it. You can look up a whole deck list for it, obviously, on Yu-Gi-Oh! Wiki. Definitely check that out. But I'll go ahead and give you a brief review. Here are the foils. We got Synchron Explorer, Rapid Warrior, X-Saber Wayne, and Junk Destroyer. Junk Destroyer, probably not that practical for most of us, to be honest, even though he's the Ultra. He's got a cool effect, but mostly he's going to be for quick draw decks, and that's about it. Haven't seen a lot of them recently. Sort of flash in the pan. X-Saber Wayne's cool. He's the first really usable 5-star Earth attribute, and he is an X-Saber, so X-Saber decks may want to run one copy of him. Just because they can reanimate him and stuff like that. And his summon ability is kind of cool. But other than that, kind of disappointing once again. A little lackluster. Rapid Warrior, he's nifty. I kind of like him. But to be honest, I mean, he's just a 1200 point direct attacker. He's not that flashy. And it's not like he's got a low level, so you can use him with Gravity Bind or something like that. I mean, well, he looks kind of cool. Other than that, once again, not very exciting. Synchron Explorer, all this guy's going to do is if you manage to float somebody, he might be able to get you a Junk Warrior or something that could get a little attack power. Like if you have a 1-star or 2-star that survives a turn, then you could summon this guy, get your Junk Synchron, poof. He has a couple of other tricks, but largely he too, unfortunately, is kind of unexciting. So, like I say, wasn't that dynamic. The only two cards that were really kind of noteworthy in the deck were these two new cards, Wild Tornado and Half Shut. Half Shut's actually pretty cool. It's kind of a close cousin to Shrink. It's a quick play spell. Just pick any face-up monster on the field, yours or your opponent's, and the monster can't be destroyed by battle, but its attack gets halved until the end phase. So, I mean, in theory, you could summon a bunch of stuff, pop this, and kill their guy, and at the same time, you can use it to keep your guys from dying in battle. So it's, it's one of those things that can work either way. It's aggressive and defensive, which is nice. I don't know if it's ever going to replace Shrink, really. Because Shrink actually allows you to kill it, obviously, which is the primary application. But still, I mean, it's worth considering. It can have some cool moments, so it's nice to have around. Extra options are always nice. Wild Tornado is actually pretty good. Is it better than Twister? Hard to say because it's a trap, but it's definitely worth considering. Even if they do get to set another card, it really doesn't matter for the most part because they can't activate it right away anyway. They could have just set it on their turn and it'd be the same thing. And the fact that when it gets popped when it's face down, it actually blows up on them and kills a face-up card on the field, that's pretty awesome. Usually that's not going to backfire on you. And obviously you can play around it. I mean, don't just, first turn summon a face-up monster, set this, say go, because if they MST, well, that's going to suck. But, if you set your monster in defense mode and set that, if they MST, well, it didn't backfire, and if they attack or something like that, or you get the idea. But basically, I see this as like a... you set it to pop oppression and stuff like that, and if it gets popped before it gets to do so, then it actually trades you back. So, Wild Tornado may just be the best thing in here. It's a little sad, but, still nice. The highlight commons were Econ, Reincarnation, Trap Hole, which is actually proving to be pretty nice these days. Nice to see a common of Rope of Life, and Secret Barrel needed a reprint. Threatening Roar, even if we had Battle Fader now, is still a good card. And for those of you who have trouble filling out your Synchro decks or your extra decks, but let's be honest, Synchro decks, the common Urbellum and Gaia Knight help you fill out those lower levels easily as commons. It's a little disappointing to see them common since they're easy enough to get, but, same old thing. And the rest of it's kind of, interesting, but not the most exciting thing ever. Him as a common is kind of neat, and Quillbolt's a good card, so nice to have another printing of him. Everything else is kind of meh. I mean, yeah, it's got this nice little print for Quick Draw, but Quick Draw was already pretty easy to get common, so, Trunade, Card Destruction, Rhoda, if I'm going too fast. Well, once again, this is just a quick deck review. So, hey, Dust Tornado. Wild Tornado's original cousin. How about that? Raigeki Break, it's a nice card. Like I say, I mean, there's interesting stuff in here, certainly all very playable stuff, well, for the most part. So it's certainly nice. How does it function as a deck? Well, I mean, it'll get you there, but against anybody competitive, probably not so much. So, for the most part, this is just one of those decks you buy it and instantly cannibalize it, and use the pieces to build your own stuff. But still, if you're a beginning player, it's an excellent purchase, well worth your money. If you're an experienced player, think hard about it. You're probably going to be better off just buying the individual pieces online, or from a friend, or trading forum, or something like that. If you even want any of this. So anyway, that's the deck review, and until next time, rate, comment, subscribe, and enjoy.